When I tell people I travel solo, they say that I'm brave and that they would never be able to do it alone. The thing is, I'm very rarely on my own. I make friends along the way. And as a lot of people are worried they wouldn't be able to, I decided to make this guide on how to make friends while traveling.
On November 2021, I quit my job to go on a solo trip to Costa Rica and Mexico for 6 months. Last year I had gone to Costa Rica and I got stuck there during the pandemic. I love the country, but I liked it so much that I decided to come back. And then here I am now, traveling the tropics for half a year at the age of 21. Between jungles, beaches, and hostels, watch me adventure and grow on my trip.
There's a lot of ways to meet people when you're abroad, but the main thing for me is staying in hostels. You don't know how social hostels are until you stay in one. Most hostels have common areas like a shared living room, a shared kitchen, and maybe even more spaces where socializing is encouraged. And to help me with this video, I interviewed my friend Sofia back in December when we met in Puerto Viejo de Talamanca, Costa Rica.
And yesterday I was just sitting in the hostel eating alone. We were both solo travelers. And Anna was in the kitchen and she just said, hi, where are you from? The typical little small talk.
Hola. Enjoy your food.
Thank you. It's just the leftovers from the last hostel.
It's the same thing that I do.
Yeah.
Like I did such a weird lunch today. What's your name?
Sophia.
Nice to meet you, I'm Anna. Is this your first time in Costa Rica?
I just came from Panama. Yeah.
Oh really? From Bocas del Toro? Is it worth it? Because I'm really considering it.
Yeah, I mean it's like party island. You want to see nature? It's not worth it.
Well, thank you so much.
We got talking and clicked, and then straight away we arranged that we're gonna go out tonight to Selena's. Don't feel awkward to like by yourself go into the kitchen and sit there alone and eat your food, because nearly like 80% of the time someone comes up that's also solo traveling, or maybe a group of people that see someone eating alone, and then you start talking and chatting, and I never feel awkward eating alone, because yeah, when you're solo traveling then you have more of these conversations.
So true. There's always someone that will come up to you and ask you about yourself, what you're cooking, or what that weird for you eating is. Moving on, the other place to meet people in a hostel is your dorm, if you stay in one. You can stay in a private room and still meet people, but if you stay in a dorm like me, here's some advice from Sofia.
Whenever I go into a dorm and somebody's there, I'm straight away like, hi guys, I'm Sofia, I'm from Germany, where are you from? The longer you wait, the more awkward it gets. Like, if you go into a dorm and you don't introduce yourself and then like a few hours pass, it's weird to be like, oh hi, you know.
I agree, and here's an example. The day I met Sofia in the kitchen was the day I arrived at that hostel. I just got to my new hostel. This is my third hostel in the area. And when I got to my dorm, I met Harry and Henrik, who were two friends who were traveling together. We started chatting and they invited me to join them and two other travelers to go to Playa Negra for sunset. And that night was when Sofia, them and I went partying together, and we even went to an after party and shared an overloaded tuk-tuk back to our hostel. And now that we're talking about partying, parties are obviously a great place to meet people. I'm not a big party person. I don't usually go to parties, but I don't know what it was about Puerto Viejo that got me to party 2 days a week. And actually this one time Sofia was looking for me at a party and she couldn't find me, so a big group of soccer players helped her find me, and we ended up spending the next week hanging out with a few of them, which was really fun. Side note, before I stop talking about hostels, I have a small YouTube channel and 3 people recognized me on this trip, which was crazy. And when I was filming this video, this actually happened. And the 3 people that recognized me were all staying in the same hostel as me, which was crazy. So here's the first person that recognized me in Puerto Viejo. Yesterday, something really weird happened. So I was going to the beach and then someone stopped me. He stopped me and said, I recognize you from YouTube. It was crazy and I was like, no, this cannot be real.
I'm her #1 fan. When I first saw her, I was like, do I know this person? Like, and it was just crazy. But
yeah.
Then I like put two and two together, and it was from your videos from 2020.
From 2020.
Which is crazy.
2021.
So I had no idea she was even in Costa Rica.
Super crazy. I was so not ready for this. So we talked a lot yesterday. Now we're sharing fruit, actually. It's so nice meeting you. Thank you so much for approaching me. Like, you could be like, oh, I recognize her, but not say anything.
No, that would be weird.
Another way to meet people while traveling is going to tourist hotspots. There you'll mostly see people that are on holiday, so people who have time to talk to you. What I would do is that I would approach them and I would ask them about recommendations on places to go. I would compliment them on their outfit or talk about the good atmosphere or view of that place. However, if you're not comfortable enough to approach people, maybe you can go on an organized tour or activity. You can either hire it from a company or you can get one at the hostel. Hostels usually have a lot of things going on, so there's always activities planned. These activities are great for meeting people because you're doing something together as a group, so it's more likely that you'll talk to each other about how the activity is going. Have you ever joined that alone?
Yes, I actually went in Panama. I went up the volcano, and that's a thing that I was like, oh, okay, this is where I'm solo traveling and I don't want to go up this volcano. It's at night, like a 6-hour night hike. Don't want to do that alone. And I went to the hostel and then I met people that were going up, and that was one of the best experiences on my travels because we were a group of like 11 people. And there were no solo travelers except for me, and they were all like, oh wow, it's so cool, like often it was very easy. If you make like an experience like this and you share that, that's really bonding.
Making friends in this situation is great, but maybe you get to a point in your trip in which you want to meet people that you'll see for longer. So in that case, I recommend volunteering because you'll see people that travel slower, like you, maybe stay 3-4 weeks in a place, and you also see hosts, which will also be great for getting to know the culture of the country. Day 2 of volunteering at the hostels, going really nice. I get to be here with Scott. Do you want to say hi, Scott? This is Scott. And here's my pro tip. Talk to locals. I've met great travelers and I've had heaps of fun with them, but there's nothing like meeting a local and getting to know the way they live, the things they do in the free time, the dishes they eat. It's great. I love it. Actually, on this trip I spent 3 months in one town, and first of all I fell in love with the town, but I also got to know a lot of locals. And what I would do is I would go to a popular place where the locals hang out, which is a river that they always go to, and I would sit on a rock and watch them do cool rope swing tricks. And I was like, I'm gonna sit here until I find the person that does the coolest trick, and then I'll talk to them. And then I ended up talking to everyone, which was great. I met great people there, and if you're watching, thank you so much for spending time with me. I had a lot of fun. And once you leave a town or a city, you'll most likely take public transportation, which leads me to the next place where you can meet people. Buses, trains, planes, bus stations, etc. Once you see a backpacker, I recommend you talk to them. You'll most likely have something in common. I mean, you're both traveling the same country, so you're both interested in the same things. And there will come a time in which you'll have to say goodbye to the people you meet. That's honestly the worst part about making friends while traveling. She is leaving me! I'm so sorry!
This can come to your vlog for the downsides.
Oh yeah, traveling. Saying goodbye is the worst.
Yeah,
She's
to the bridge, there's so many people you connect with, and then...
Yeah, I feel like all the squad is left to
I'm
my...
the only one left in Puerto Viejo.
This is so nice. Goodbye. Safe travels. For me, it's really hard at first, but when I had traveled for I think 2 months already, it got easier and easier. So you get used to it, or at least I did. But after all, I recommend you let yourself be independent. Even though it's cool to make friends and be surrounded by cool people, the good thing about solo traveling is also spending time with yourself and enjoying that time. So don't wait for someone to join you at that waterfall hike or at that cool restaurant. Just go, you'll have fun alone, you'll be fine. And this is the end of the video. Please give it a like if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Bye!